All right, hey there, Sam back with you. Thursday, May 24th, kind of late morning, and man, I'm getting challenged today. So, as I will mention every day, we poll the members. That's how we decide what gets reviewed here. So we poll the members, let them vote on what gets analysis, and I'm running late today because some of these counts have been very, very tricky to get a handle on. Now, so here's Cardano. We haven't looked at this, I don't know, 3-4 weeks. So again, I understand why they want an analysis of this. This is a tricky count. So coming off the low here, this clears the bell. We can see we've got a nice clean impulsive wave to give us our one. But this correction, as we're experiencing with so much of crypto, there's a lot of complexity in the correction. So if we think about it and just, okay, well, I got a 5-wave sequence. I got a motive wave giving me a 1. What am I looking for in the 2? Well, simple stuff, right? So we take swing low to swing high. Well, where do we go? Well, we were sitting right here in the golden zone. So no surprise that we're getting a reaction there. I'm not sure we've got a good hard low there. As I break the count down, I think there may be one more push. Now, of course, we know that a second wave can go and often will go as deep as the 786. So, the reaction here at the golden zone, we want to pay attention to that because that's algo activity that's buying there, right? We can be clear about that. Swing low, swing high. Promise you that's algo buying. Now, is it enough to drive it to finish the correction? Well, that remains to be seen. As I count it, I think there's potential here for one more push down. So we might push out of the golden zone, give us our 4, and then one more trip back down to give us a clean 5 to finish up here. Now, this is the easy part. This is where it gets a little trickier. So I'm going to go. Let's see. Let's go down to. Let's see. I think I can do it in a 30-minute. So let's look at a 30. It's just choppier. So reasonable candidate here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves into an A. I got a little choppy 3-wave B, but then I go yet again, and so it would appear though I can get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to give me a C. So I get a completed ABC, right, or at least a contender for one. Now I've got a 3-wave move here that's counter to this move that gives me an X wave, right? X is always the counter trend. So all we're doing is connecting to ABC. So if I'm allowing for an ABC, right, and we can see it comes to the 50, we get a little reaction, and I'm rolling over again after this, right? At this, you don't know until it starts to give you more information if that's an X wave or not. But at this point, we can qualify that, say, well, I do get a completed ABC, and I can get 5 waves in that C. I've got 3 waves here. Am I stretching, or do I have a contender here for an A and a B and a C? Well, if we go a little bit deeper into this. Well, here's my X wave. I can get an A wave coming out of that. I've got a nice little 3-wave B. Now I get a pretty steep retracement into a 2 so I get a little ABC goes into my 2. All right, we don't challenge the B wave, although we go deep here, and it looks like we're a little beyond the 786. But then from that 2, so if we're allowing for this as our 1, 2. So a lot of times I'll do this, I'll wick off the 1 and the 2, just so I, kind of always conscious of that relationship. So if I wick off the 1 and the 2, all right, so that would give me 1, 2. I've come down here. I propose to you I've got a 3rd wave in, and I've got a candidate here. Now, this is where it's a bit of a judgment call. So from that 2, I can clearly get a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 to give me a completed 3rd wave here. So from that B, I've got 1, 2, 3. Now, do I get a 4, 5? Well, that's what the count would imply. So pulling from this 2, all right, so if I go down here, get my low here in my golden zone. Now it would appear that I've got just the traditional A wave going in, B wave going in, and I'm looking for a C to give me my 4th before I go down one more time. So thinking about what we're after here, it's up here to the 4 and then coming down for the 5. Now the 5, so we'd have an algo target down here. That would be breaking. Here's my 65. So we'd be breaking that. So again, just because it's there doesn't mean we must go there, but that wouldn't surprise me at all if we were to come down here, get our C wave here, to give me my completed 5th. Let's see if I line that up. So I'd have the C wave completed. Well, I guess this would actually be up here. We'd have the 5th of the C of the Y, right? So, and of course, we'd be looking for this to come down in 5. Well, that remains to be seen if that's what we get here, but I've got a potential roadmap here that plays pretty nicely. So swing high, swing low. I'm looking for, can I get up to that 50? We do a little measuring here. I can take that proposed A wave projected from my B. Well, here's 100% right at the Vegas wave, 127. These would be contenders, so this is the first thing I'd be looking for right here. So I'd get a little hot box as I draw it right here. So I've got a confluence. You see all the confluence I have here. So I've got my 38 relative to my 2 to my 3 low. I've got my A, my B. Now here's my 100%, the length of A projected from the B at the 38 and the Vegas wave. So a nice little stack there to give me a contender for a fourth. Now, you know, I'm not saying sell it there. What I'm saying, for me, I would not be a seller there. I'm looking for the buy. So I want the correction to complete. Now, if I get this C wave here and that plays as my 4, right now, I mean, if you're just as comfortable being long or short, well, there is definitely a trade there. If you get a pivot here and starts to move that way, that's the target. So you'd have your algo target down here. You want to pay attention to the 65 as there'll be some defense getting played there. But if it's going to be fully realized, you've got the, you know, so you could think of it this way. So you could measure the 1 relative to the 4. So if I take my 1 from my hypothetical, right, it's hypothetical 4. Right, you see that? So all I'm doing is taking this hypothetically from this little bar here. I'll split the difference. So I'll take in between the 100, the 38, and the Vegas wave as a proposed 4. Well, how would that play? Well, likely target right here. So take note of this. So here's the 100%, the length of the 1 projected from my proposed 4. And I do not know that that's the 4. So we can't hang your hat on that just yet. But if I were to come up here to this likely pivot area and start to roll over, that's something I'd want to pay attention to as a candidate for my pivot, because I've got confluence down here. I've got 100% length of the 1 projected from maybe my 4, but I've got my 65 sitting there. Now, below, I've got this as well. So I've got 2 targets down here. Well, here's my algo target and my 1618, which would be an extreme for the 5th relative to the 1, but not terribly uncommon. So two candidates down here. So you might look at it as this be an initial purchase. This is be a second purchase if you can absorb that much. That's why this would need to be a smaller position. If we don't go down here and we start to move off of that, well, plenty of chance to add. If you come off of that with a motive wave, you're going to get a retracement. There's your place to add. Right? So again, don't feel like, oh man, I only put on a small portion of it. I wanted to get the whole thing. Well, you're always going to get a chance to add. Right? Now you can add here knowing that your hypothesis is the pivot is in. So you'd be trading off of that. If it comes down, keeps going, well, you were wrong, right? So you should be stopped out. Right? The hypothesis is wrong. So you don't want to be moving the stop down to give it more room. If you're going to trade off, if you're going to buy this and then add here, you're out here. That's the way you have to trade that, right? So you can't rationalize it. Oh, well, maybe it's going down here, and then it's going. You got to make a commitment to the trade when you set it up. If I go in here, I'm out here because my assumption is that I've identified the pivot low off of this technical confluence. If it does this, well, you're stopped out. You can go down here and add next time, but then you would do it the same way. So you might be a buyer here in light size, and then wait for do you get a motive wave and then take the first retracement, right? Same thing again. If it keeps going down, you're stopped out because your hypothesis is wrong. You got to make that commitment when you first go into the trade. If your first buy is here, you add on the retracement, you're out here. That's the assumption you made rather than rationalize, oh, well, no, okay, now I'm a long-term holder, right? Now I'm a hodler. No. Commit to what you're doing. So that's at least that's my suggestion to you, right? So if you're going to trade it that way, we don't know where this pivots, right? So the safer thing to do is if I get a pivot that's a contender, do I get a motive wave coming off of it? Then you can trade with probabilities rather than it could be here, could be here. I'm not sure. I don't know. Let's just buy it. Right? You can be much more precise. There's no reason to be that random. Be precise about it. That's that. If you're watching this video, that's what you're trying to do. So the opportunity for that kind of precision is there all the time. So why be lazy? Right? Is that really how you want to define the way that you trade the markets? Well, I don't know. It gets low enough, I buy it. Gets high enough, I sell it. I don't know, bull market, right? In 2017, a lot of people made money doing that. That's not how I approach trading, and I'm assuming if you're watching this, that's not the kind of trading that you want to do. So here's the precision route, right? But you got to be disciplined about your commitments when you get into a trade. Where am I wrong? Where am I out? Where is my hypothesis proven wrong? Boom, out. Or right there, and we start to move. Oh well, not only did I get the low. Not only did I get my bite here, then I waited for the retracement to add. Now I've averaged in that price, and now I'm feeling pretty good. All right, guys. You want to learn more about this kind of precision trading? Give us a visit over at tradedevils.com. You can learn everything, all about what we offer to you, and there's a lot of content. Would encourage you to give us a visit, and you can think about maybe joining us in our members-only private Discord. All right. Okay. With that, I'll wrap it up. I got one more to share with you today. Be back later.